Time.
Good evening, and thank you for attending the North Platte Public Schools regular meeting of the Board of Education. I would like to remind you that school board meetings in Nebraska are meetings held in public, not public meetings. During the public comment section, the public may address the board on agenda items and other miscellaneous topics. The purpose of the North Platte Public School District is to prepare all students to be productive, responsible citizens in a safe, caring, supportive learning environment. Our direction is to prepare every student for success through high-quality educational programs delivered by highly effective educators who use innovative research-based strategies in a safe, supportive environment in collaboration with family, businesses, and community members. Sheila, could you please call roll?
Matthew Peterson.
Present.
Emily Garrick.
Present.
Joanne Lundgreen.
Present.
Cindy O'Connor.
Present.
Skip Altick.
Present.
Angela Blasey.
Present.
I would like to mention that the Nebraska Open Meetings Act legislates the methods by which public meetings are conducted. Information pertaining to this act is posted in the boardroom. I will now call for a motion to approve the publication of the October 14th, 2024 regular meeting of the Board of Education.
I make a motion to approve the publication for the October 14th, 2024 regular meeting of the Board of Education. Second.
Roll call.
Emily Garrick.
Aye.
Joanne Lundgreen.
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Skip Altick.
Aye.
Angela Blasey.
Aye.
Aye.
And that passes. Now I would like to call for a motion to approve the agenda for the October 14th, 2024 regular meeting of the Board of Education.
I move to approve the agenda for the October 14th, 2024 regular meeting of the Board of Education.
Second. Second. Sorry, Cindy.
Roll call.
Joanne Lundgreen.
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Skip Altick.
Aye.
Angela Blasey.
Aye.
Matthew Peterson.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, if everyone would join me in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we will move on to the communications portion of our meeting. And first up is our Bulldogs of the Month, and we'll have Mr. Spatansky introduce them to us.
Well, here we are in another school year, recognizing some awesome kids at NPHS for their accolades over the last 3 years. And tonight we have two outstanding Bulldogs. We have Mr. Landon Greeno and Miss Tuesday Allen. And so I'll go ahead and invite Miss Allen up here for her Bulldog of the Month information.
Well, first, I would like to thank my parents, of course. And then secondly, my brother for always setting the bar above it. So that way when I pass him, it's a little more impressive. It's no secret that I do a lot of activities at North Platte High School. I've been in 4 years of choir, 3 years of Blue and Gold Singers. I'm on my 10th show with the theater department. I'm in NHS. I've been in varsity track for going on my 4th year. And probably my biggest thing that I do, I would say would be student council. I am the state secretary for the Nebraska Association of Student Councils, where I've been given the opportunity to go to nationals past summer. I was also a district officer before that. And we're also hosting state convention this year, which was something that I was able to kind of oversee and plan out. I would say probably my favorite high school moment that I've had so far, or honestly, maybe my least favorite, was the fact that I had to sing some High School Musical songs in front of the entire school for power videos. So that was definitely a highlight, low light kind of situation. And then my future plans, I'm planning probably to go to University of Nebraska, Omaha. So go Mavs. That's all.
My name is Landon Greeno. First off, I'd like to introduce my family. We have my mom, Leah, my sister, Lena, my aunt, Lori, my aunt, Nikki, and my cousin, John. I have participated in varsity baseball and football and have lettered in both. I've also been a member of FFA and FCA. And academically, I've made every single honor roll since middle school. And my favorite high school experience was starting in the first district championship baseball game for North Platte High. And my plans after graduation is going to UNL or playing college baseball. But my major will be wildlife conservation and natural resources.
Yeah, I have an award for you. Thank you.
We really have no order. Kind of.
Yeah.
Go on.
Still in. Stupid belly.
All right, we will now move on to our student spotlight, and we have some students here with the FFA program.
Good evening. I'm Brooklyn.
I am Wyatt Thompson.
And I'm Hannah Jensen. We're here to tell you about a business we recently started as a part of Mr. Swedberg's agricultural entrepreneurship class. At the beginning of the year, us three, along with three other classmates, had the opportunity to go to Lincoln to attend a training about starting a school-based business as a part of the Launch program hosted by UNL's Angler Entrepreneurship Program. Launch is a year-long program that takes high school students and teachers through the entrepreneurial process from no idea or plans to the creation of a valuable, sustainable business that solves a real-world problem for real-world customers. During this training, we got to interact with other schools that were selected for this program. And throughout the day, we identified issues that face the students in our school and the people of our community and state. The challenge was then coming up with a business plan that would not only solve one of these problems, but hopefully make some money along the way. The problem that our team wanted to try to tackle is the challenge that people in the ag industry face after a crisis. Most rural areas like North Platte rely heavily on the agricultural industry, so when crisis strikes like wildfires, droughts, and floods, it puts stress on the whole community to make ends meet and becomes very difficult for small farmers and business owners to come back from the losses they experience during these times. Unfortunately, we did not come up with a solution to prevent these crises from happening, but instead we wanted to create a business that could help these people when they face hard times.
The business that stemmed from this goal is the Canteen Candle Company. The Canteen Candle Company seeks to eliminate brighter futures for our students by handcrafting peaceful household aromas and warming the hearts of our community, one spark at a time. We wanted our business to embody the same canteen spirit that drove the North Platte Canteen during World War II, which started as a local group of ladies trying to brighten the days of few soldiers that grew to become one of the largest volunteer efforts during these war times. Our business plan is to sell pleasant smelling candles for our customers to not only brighten their days, but also to collect a portion of our profits to donate to a charity. The Rural Response Hotline is the charity we chose. These people aim to help farmers, ranchers, and rural residents during times of crisis with financial assistance, disaster relief, and emotional support. The first steps of our business was figuring out how to make a candle. None of us had experiences with making candles, but quickly changed as we experimented and surveyed people about their candle preferences. We were also fortunate enough to tap into the expertise of Mr. Peterson to help us come up with our marketing strategies and decide what the branding of our company would look like. After some smell tests and candle burning sessions, we landed on the right product for us, a clean burning soy-based candle with a wooden wick and a rustic container. We brought a few of our samples to try.
In efforts to keep our overhead costs low and minimize our risk, we wanted to start the business small. We are starting with 2 cents cinnamon roll and ranch hand, which has notes of coconut, clove buds, leather, and cedarwood. We recently participated in a quick pitch competition where we received $500 in funding to start upgrading our equipment in efforts to streamline production and improve the overall quality of our product. We are still in the process of getting these out to the market, but we will plan to sell them for $10 a piece. We hope to launch a small web-based store, as well as selling our candles at our local retail store, the Flower Market. As the business grows, we will continue to branch into new scents and new markets as well. Be on the lookout for some holiday scents soon.
Do you guys have any questions?
So are you currently selling?
Not at the moment.
When do you plan to have product in the store? Will it be before Christmas? These are
Yeah.
smelling
yeah.
really good. I'm thinking Christmas gifts, so. This is a really neat project. So I think it's great that you guys have worked really hard to solve a problem and to come up with a way to be able to help remedy some of the things that farmers face. So that's great.
So what does the process look like for making them? Are you doing this part of class? Is this stuff you do after school? How's that work?
It was part of a class and then the term ended on Friday. So now Wyatt, you have a independent study for it first period. I'm aiding for Mr. Sweetberg fourth period. And then Grant's also aiding in second period. So the three of us will contribute a little bit while we're still in their classrooms and being able to do that a little bit. But other than that, I think for the most part, it'll be outside of school doing stuff in our own time to try and make it work.
I have one other question. Is the flower market charging you for space, or are they just donating the space to you for selling the candles?
So we're gonna sell them to her for $750 and then in bulk, and then she'll sell them there.
Okay.
So it's pretty simple.
How many do you plan on making?
How many?
How many?
But we really don't have like, we want to sell, we've just been making a kind of a supply so we can get them out there.
Very good.
All right, well, thank you.
Great idea.
Thank you.
Now we'll have Terry Burchell with the foundation report and staff recognition.
Good evening. Oh, isn't it exciting to see all those kids? I just love your volunteer job. The foundation board has been busy, and the foundation, if you know, Change Wars was a success with over $15,500 raised, which means 70% of that, $10,000 of that will go back to the schools and back to each building. So we're excited to be able to help in the different projects that are going on within the district. Shout out to all the schools for their time and effort during Change Wars. We realize it's not always easy, but the kids do get excited about it. The students in each top classroom celebrated with some treats. Then the elementary students were able to join us at the backyard tailgate, and they were able to march on the field. And McDonald, of course, if you weren't there, showed up. I think their entire school was there. Like everyone came, which was very exciting to see. The tailgate itself had about over 300 in attendance, and we still netted about the same amount as we usually do with the competition, which is around $2,400. So the board will be considering how to move forward with that event. That event is more than just us raising funds. It's about raising awareness about not only the foundation, but the district. So we do enjoy doing that, and we will continue doing it. We just don't know what that looks like. The Distinguished Alumni Committee will be meeting in the next couple of weeks. Just a reminder, if you know of anyone that graduated from North Platte High School, we would love to know their story. While the applications and nominations for the 2025 Distinguished Alumni has closed, those nominations are good for 3 years. So keep that in mind as well. We would love to honor the students from North Platte High School. Then mark your calendars for 2 events. One is this Wednesday. We'll see how windy it is. Nebraska Land Bank will be hosting, excuse me, the Movie on the Field event. They'll be showing If on Bauer Field. The gates will open at 5:30. They'll be grilling hot dogs and hamburgers, and the journalism club will be benefiting from that. They'll be running the concession stand. And again, that's all free will donations on Wednesday. And then mark your calendar for February 28th, 2025 for Dancing with the Stars. It is time for that again, since we do that every other year. So stay tuned for more information. Of course, that event benefits our Prepared to Learn Fund. And now to the best part is to recognize Employees of the Month, which the program is going really well with going to a school every month. So this month it's Buffalo. So if I could ask Ms. Sawyer to join me up front. And we're going to be recognizing 2 wonderful employees, and I will let you tell them about them.
Thank you. I would like to talk about Tammy Michael and Kathy Schultz. Tammy has taken on another class this year. So along with her teaching half-day 4-year-old program, she is also the 3-year-old teacher in the afternoon as well. A lot of challenge with the 3-year-olds. And so she has worked really hard to make sure that her classroom is so inviting and loving and for all of her students. And I've seen so much progress from the beginning of the year, and it's so neat to be a part of that. And then Kathy has so many jobs that she does, each one with a smile. She gets up early, so early. She's on the bus transporting kids all over before and after school. She then comes to Buffalo and helps out wherever she's needed, to sensory breaks, bathroom breaks, and helping out wherever we're short. And so both of these ladies are true assets.
Thank you. So go up front for a picture with the board. Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay. Congratulations.
All right, we will now move to our consent agenda. Our adopted rules of parliamentary procedure, Robert's Rules, provides for a consent agenda listing several items for approval by the board, approval of the board by a single motion. Documentation concerning these items has been provided to all board members and the public in advance to assure an extensive and thorough review. Items may be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any board member. So on our consent agenda tonight, we have to approve the minutes of the September 9th, 2024 budget hearing. Approve the minutes of the September 9th, 2024 set final tax request hearing. Approve the minutes of the September 9th, 2024 regular meeting of the Board of Education. Approve the minutes of the September 26th, 2024 special meeting of the Board of Education. Approve the minutes of the September 26th, 2024 Board of Education Committee of the Whole meeting. And approval of financial claims and reports, which was completed by Matt and Emily this month. Does anybody have any questions before we call for a motion?
Nope.
Okay,
I
I
would
will call
move-
for a motion.
I would move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Roll call.
Cindy O'Connor,
Yay.
Skip Ballston,
Aye.
Angela Blakey,
Aye.
Matthew Peters,
Aye.
Ellen Garrett,
Aye.
Joe Anderson.
Aye. And we'll move on to the reports and discussion items. We're going to start off by hearing from Mr. Simpson, and he's going to talk to us about starting the budget cycle again.
First of all, we'll go over the monthly financial report that we look at every month. First of all, this is the first month of the 24-25 school year. So in that, a few changes, obviously, number one, the adopted budget that we went through. Second of all, just trying to get through the audit and get everything taken care of to start the new school year and then rolling accounts over. So in that really flurry of activities leading up to the first financial report for September 2024. I just want to highlight a couple of things. Number one, always you will see a treasurer's report by each individual fund that we handle, the deposits that are coming in, as well as the expenses or disbursements that are going out for each of the funds. Second of all, I didn't put in a graph because when I was looking at it, the cycle was a dot because we're starting with September, the first one. So you really couldn't see it. So what I put in was really the 5-month comparison period for September. And really what you can see on this one is that the net change, I call it the net income, but the net change from revenue to expense for the general fund was roughly 700,000 less than it was the last 2 years, and obviously more in line with I want to say 21, 22, and 2021. So you can look at that one, but I really didn't want to show the chart or the graph at this point because it would be very hard to determine. And then finally, just overall, because we handle grants within the district and we've been dealing with ESSERS 3 for the last 4 or 5 years, we did have that. We have submitted the last payment request to NDE and it's sitting out there. It's dealing with the building fund. So when you look at the change in assets that we show here, that's why the building fund currently is in a deficit situation. We're waiting for NDE to approve the last payment for our building fund for ESSERS 3, and then we should move back out of the red for a building fund. But that's our last piece of the puzzle. We're waiting for any updates from ESSER 3 of clarification that they want. So that's the financial report. Any questions before we move into the budget cycle? We really don't ever talk a lot about the budget here because we're looking at the budget cycle in general, and we go into the committee of the whole, or in the past, the finance committee, to discuss the budget and what is going on with it. And every month I try to break it down so you get individual pieces. So it becomes more of a building block in the process over a period of 12 months or 10 months, because we do start in October and complete somewhat of the budget by August of the next year. So with that, you can see the cycle is an ongoing cycle. Second of all, when we look at the committee of the whole this next year, we're going to start talking about these various items or other factors that affect the budget. And we will be taking a look at our budget calendar at the committee of the whole in October so that we can be prepared with each individual piece that goes on. You know, for example, we'll be talking about enrollment after it's certified at the end of October. Then we'll be looking at our adjusted valuation, poverty plan. SPED final financials is due by the end of the month. And then our AFR and audit goes into play. Many pieces play into effect in regards to how a school district stacks up. So we want to try to address each individual item so that as we get into June, July, and August, we built a budget according to all the pieces that are laid into effect. So, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. We will now have a staffing report and we'll invite Mr. Mills to the table.
Good evening, everyone. I have a quick little graph to show you. Don't worry about every morning. I know Dr. Rhodes looks at this as well.
Oh.
We look at teaching Nebraska every morning, obviously to look at our positions and to look at our staff. And I just wanted you guys to just have a little snapshot of that. So that first picture just represents all the jobs in Nebraska currently as of today. And then the next one down just shows our zone, which is the western zone, and it shows you the jobs within our zone. And then if you flip it over, each one of those dots could represent 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs. So even though there's just one dot on there, when you click on those dots, like ours will have like 10 jobs on it, or other districts will have a lot. So I just wanted to give you guys kind of a big picture of the state and Nebraska positions that are open. Last year, there was over 900 positions.
Are these current openings?
Yeah, those are current right now. Absolutely. That was from this morning. Thanks, Skip. And going backwards, there was 900 jobs open last year, vacated. 760 jobs in Nebraska went unfilled. If you look at the United States, it's about 55,000 positions. So we know that we have a teacher crisis. So this evening, I just want to talk a little bit about our staffing report and the things that we're doing to continue to embrace this teacher shortage. One is probably the most important is recruitment and obviously retainment. So retainment right now, what we do each fall is run a stay survey to all of our new staff. I'm collecting all those responses. I'll have them this week. It was for the first quarter. Then I'll take those responses to the cabinet. We'll kind of analyze them and look at them. What's the purpose of that? The purpose is, why are employees staying? We want to know the reasons they're staying and things that we can do to help them if there is any type of issue. So that's one big piece is that stay interview. The other ones is just visibility. Dr. Rhodes leads that by being out in buildings. And so the rest of us directors are in buildings all the time. The big part of that is to check in with staff, to check in with principals, to check on new teachers, veteran teachers. But specifically when we're talking about retainment, we're talking about a lot of these individuals that we have hired this last year. So that part of checking in, and then we also do walkthroughs as well. The principals do official walkthroughs and non-official walkthroughs. Again, that educational leadership, having principals in the buildings, or I mean the classrooms on a regular basis to see where we can assist staff. So those things are in place. And then obviously with teaching and learning in the buildings, we also have mentors and our mentor meetings to follow up with staff as well. We have found, and I think research shows us, that our money well spent in retaining much more than recruitment. So we want to focus on those things. But recruiting season is here. We've already visited University of Nebraska at Kearney and Colorado State University. And I just wanted to share with the board what's upcoming for recruiting as we're on that season. And you can see all the positions that are out there and open. Next week, I'll travel to Wayne State for the college visit there. Then after that, UNL will be on the 28th. And for the first time in about 4 years, Chadron State College is having a career fair this year. They have not had one since COVID. So they opened that back up. So I'll run up to Chadron State. And then we were selected also for Hastings College on November 4th, I believe it is. There's only select schools that they invite for their college fair. So we will attend that as well. And then we'll finish it up with a trip to Greeley to Northern Colorado University. So those are the planned recruiting trips that we'll do this fall. And then obviously in the spring, they kick back open again. Currently, we have 2 student teachers that'll finish up this next quarter. And then next semester, we're placing 3 student teachers within the system. So we're excited about that, to have those different fields represented. And as you well know, many times those individuals that are in our system, we get to know them, they get to know us, and we have a job open, and it's a nice parlay right into that position. So those are some of the things that are happening. The last thing I just wanted to share with you is the top 10 shortage areas. You can probably guess them. Special education, number 1, that's the top, 76.1% vacant. Elementary ed is number 2, 55% vacant, followed up with language arts at 35%. Currently, I would say all jobs are high right now. I mean, there's a push for all positions. When I looked at it this morning from the state, they started to list the positions, and it looks like it's all positions that are short. So I just wanted to touch base with the board of the things that we're doing and see if there's any questions or comments.
Were those percentages that you shared, those are statewide
Yes,
percentages?
ma'am.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I had the right context there. So do we currently in our district, and I know this changes probably every time we talk to you, so do we currently have any unfilled positions as it stands today, like for this school year's needs?
Yes and no. And the reason I say yes and no is that they were unfilled, but we used our staff to spread our staff out. Thank for Corey Spatansky back here, especially at the high school. So yeah, we have unfilled, but we had to spread staff. That's why I posted a journalism position immediately this weekend, because knowing we're going to have that. It's a good question.
Okay, so we're able to meet our needs right now, but
Right.
if the right people came along for those specific positions,
Correct.
we would
And you
have.
probably remember we had to push a lot to mid-plains too, those higher level classes.
Yes.
We'll make sure we get those 9th and 10th grade classes
Okay.
covered.
Perfect. And then my other question was, just because I don't know that we've talked about this for a while, but I know it historically is always an issue. Where are we at with like substitute teacher?
Great question.
Do we have a big shortage there? And is there anything we're doing recruitment wise
We're
for that?
constantly hiring. I see Carol's calendar every day. We've got another one landed. I'm going to onboard this week. We have about 150 substitutes, but the problem is they can work when they want to work, obviously substituting. So we only really have about 49 that are really active that we can really count on. And some of those may just work, 2 times a day as well. So a shortage, I don't know if there's so much a shortage. It's just hoping that people that we do have will work a little bit more in sub. So I keep a close eye on it. I'm glad you brought that up. Every morning I look at that as well because I handle all the Smart Find Express to make sure that we're covered across the building, across our buildings, across the district. Great question.
As a follow-up to that, because I know we might have some people paying attention, what does it take to qualify to be a substitute teacher?
Excellent. Number 1, if the individual has 60 credits for an associate's degree, that would be the first requirement. That way that gets them in, they don't have to do any other activities. So such as a para-pro program. But if they didn't have the 60 credits, we can still work with them. Then we assign them up for the para program to make sure that they're follow up on the different title programs that we have. Secondly, if they have a bachelor's degree, obviously they're in completely, then they can be a certified sub. So we have a local sub, then we have a certified sub. The pay is from 150 up to 210.
And then as far as our student teachers, are those people that have connection to North Platte? How are we getting those kids here?
A lot of recruiting. Great question. Principals, teachers, myself, Dr. Rose, everybody obviously is talking to those individuals and seeing where that fits in. Obviously watching them as well and observing and making sure that they're the right fit for North Platte as well. Just because they're student teaching here doesn't automatically give them that position, but having those conversations with those individuals at which we've already done. And then we'll continue to do so to follow up and then having the position open as well.
And then what are we paying them now, our student teachers?
Student teachers are 2,000. They're $500 a month for 4 months.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I will mention, Kevin, that I had an email today from, I think it was Kansas State University that was, recruiting paras to their para to teacher program. So I deleted that email. But I want to thank you for all of the things that you have done just to be creative in filling our positions. I know that for some of our teachers, sometimes it's a little bit of a stretch when they have to do things in addition to what, they had planned to do for the year. But I know that our para to teacher program is full and going well. And with our international teachers and all of the things that you've had to do to fill those positions, I really appreciate all the work that you've done.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, now we will turn some time over to Dr. Rhodes for the superintendent's report. He is going to provide us with a strategic plan update. We'll also have an update on the reunification training exercise. And then he would like to congratulate the golf team. So we'll turn that over to him.
All right, thank you. So it's been a busy fall. We have been working with our 3 action teams. Each one of those action teams is associated with one of our strategies for our 2025-2030 draft strategic plan. Last Wednesday was the 4th meeting that those 3 action planning teams met. 3 and 4 have really been about research. So during meeting 1, which was clear back in September, each one of the action teams developed research questions that were associated with their particular strategy. And then the next 3 meetings have really been about looking at that research, presenting that research to the rest of their teams. We will meet again on October 23rd. At that meeting, they will prioritize the action steps and the action plans that will be for each one of those strategies. November 13th will be the final meeting of our action planning teams. And at that meeting, they'll present their draft action plan, and they'll also develop specific results for that particular strategy. And so, it's real interesting work that these teams are doing. It's been pretty insightful for me to travel around and sit in on those Wednesday evenings, and just a real big thank you to the people that are associated with those 3 teams. We have anywhere from 14 to 16 people on each one of those action teams. So the plan will be after November 13th to get ready to present to the strategic planning committee, that committee of 32 on January 3rd. And there'll be some opportunity to edit and refine that whole strategic plan before it comes to the board in either January or February for approval. So a lot of good work happening with that strategic plan. We received word from the Nebraska Department of Education, and specifically Scott Stemper, that North Platte was chosen as one of 3 districts to conduct a reunification training exercise right here in North Platte. And so we have committed to that. It's paid for with grant funds. And so there is no cost to the district. If there was, it's about a $13,000 to $15,000 training. So we're really pleased that NDE chose us. What goes along with that is we have 120 seats that'll go through a day-long training on reunification. We're working out the details before we get to that March date. We will be coming to the board at some point to amend the 24-25 calendar, because that will have to be a non-student day, since we'll be utilizing most likely the high school. We're looking at our emergency response teams for all of our buildings to be involved in this training, and then we're developing some other activities for the rest of our staff on March 19th as well. So real exciting. We have not done a reunification training to the extent that this will be. So really excited to be able to bring that to North Platte. And then lastly, our girls golf team qualified for the state tournament. That is today or was today in Grand Island. And we found out late last week also that boys tennis is to be congratulated as well. They will be participating in the state championships at Lincoln on Thursday. So congratulations to those activity sponsors and the students that are involved in those as well. Any questions for me?
Busy month, huh?
Busy, yes. Thank you.
All right, public questions and comments may take place at this time in the agenda. Individuals who want to address the board must complete a guidelines for public comments form with the date, topic addressing, name, address, and the name of any organization you represent, and give it to the board clerk prior to the meeting. Sheila. All right. We will move on to our action items then. The first action item is to accept the NPEA as the exclusive bargaining agent for non-supervisory certificated staff for the 26-27 school year. Mr. Simpson, did you have anything to say about that? Or
Just number one, just to remind the board is that currently the teachers have a 2-year agreement for the 24-25, 25-26 school year. Normally, they're getting out 2 years ahead of the time so that they can be prepared. And really, when you look back at the calendars, they're always 2 years out ahead. So really, this is just standard statute requirement that NPEA has to follow to bring it to the board.
and you can see the letter is attached for that. So, all right. Any comments by the board? Call for a motion.
I would move to recognize NPEA as the exclusive bargaining agent for non-supervisory certificated staff for the 2026-2027 school year.
Second.
Roll call.
Skip Albers.
Aye.
Angela Blakely.
Aye.
Adam Peterson.
Aye.
Emily Garrett.
Aye.
Madeline Reed.
Aye.
Aye.
And that passes. So now we will move on to the request for approval of the 2024-2025 and 2025-2026 professional negotiated agreement. And Stuart, I guess.
Yeah, I'll just let you comment about a couple of items. Number one, first of all, thank you to Skip, Angela, and Matt, as well as on the Paris side, Lori Anderson, Crystal Lee, Cindy Ryan, and Corrine Richards. I want to say thank you very much to everybody. I know as a process throughout the summer and into the fall in regards to getting this agreement done, but just a couple of items that we wanted to address, make sure. First of all, it's a 2-year agreement, similar to what we did with the teachers. Second of all, the focus, first of all, is that we needed to be cognizant of the minimum wage that'll be increasing in Nebraska on January 1st of 2026 to $15 an hour. So as we were looking at a 2-year agreement, that was our focus so that we made sure that we addressed that accordingly, as well as the market that surrounds North Platte Public Schools. Second of all, there was a change in health insurance, dropped from the $3,800 to the $2,500, but per EPA, Educators Health Alliance, it is that cost is no cost to the district. It's the same cost that we're paying for the high deductible health plan or for the $2,500 deductible. Other than that, there were some various wording changes throughout the document.
Okay. Any questions or comments? All right. Motion to.
I move that we approve the 2024, 2025 and 2026 paraprofessional negotiated agreement.
Second.
Roll call.
Randall Blake.
Aye.
Dan Peters.
Aye.
Ellen Garrett.
Aye.
Joanne Landry.
Aye,
Cynthia Scott.
Aye.
Paul.
Aye.
and that passes. So now we will move on to the request for the approval of the resolution on school district standards for acceptance or rejection of option enrollment applications for the 24 through, that should be 25, correct?
No, it's
24,
it's
okay,
next year.
24 through 2026 school years. So this is something that is in statute that we approve this every year, and we mention which programs and classrooms are closed. And one of the things I want to clarify, because last year I had a lot of questions about there were people moving, and it is only for option enrollment. So if you move to a new location and your child would be in that school because of where you moved, then it does not affect that. So just so that people are clear on that. And Matt, I guess you have the.
We'll have some discussion. Okay. All right, everybody, bear with me. Whereas North Platte Public Schools is committed to providing an education of high quality to its students in an economically efficient manner, and whereas the school district's faculty, facilities, and equipment can serve only a limited number of students effectively, and whereas the North Platte Board of Education, in consultation with administration, has reviewed the school district's faculty, facilities, equipment, interdisciplinary efforts, and interrelationships of grades, subjects, and faculty, and has determined the maximum number of students it can serve effectively at any given grade level and in total. Now therefore be it resolved that the board adopts the following standards for acceptance or rejection of option enrollment applications. Special education capacity. Capacities for special education services will be determined on a case-by-case basis. And if an application for option enrollment received by the school district indicates that the student has an individualized education program under the Federal Individuals with Disabilities Act 20 USC 1400 et sec, or has been diagnosed with a disability as defined in section 79-1118.01, the application will be evaluated by the Director of Special Education Services or the Director's designee, who must determine if the school district and the appropriate class, grade level, or school building has the capacity to provide the applicant with the appropriate services and accommodations. The Federal Education Rights and Privacy Rights Act, FERPA 20 USC Section 1232G permits the release of education records when a student seeks or intends to enroll in a different school district. Numeric capacity. For the 2024, 2025, and 2025, 2026 school years, the capacity in the following grade levels, programs, classes, and/or schools, buildings is as follows. All North Platte Public Elementary Schools, grades K through 2, 20 students per regular education classroom section. All North Platte Public Elementary Schools, grades 3 through 5, 22 students per regular education classroom section. Madison Middle, Adams Middle, and High Schools, grades 6 through 12, 325 students per grade level. North Platte Elementary English Learner EL programs, 10 students per EL classroom section. Madison Middle, Adams Middle, and High School English Learner EL programs, 15 students per EL classroom section. North Platte Elementary Behavior Programs, 5 students. North Platte High School Alternative Education Program, 10 students per program. Chromatic capacity. The board declares the following grade levels, programs, classes, and school buildings to be at capacity such that no option applications in any of the following will be accepted. All district-wide English Learner EL programs are closed. Cody Elementary Schools, grades 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 5th grades are closed. Eisenhower Elementary School, 2nd and 3rd grades are closed. Jefferson Elementary School, grades K, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades are closed. Lake Maloney Elementary School, grades 1st and 2nd grades are closed. Lincoln Elementary School, grades 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grades are closed. McDonald Elementary Schools, grades K, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grades are closed. Washington Elementary School, grades 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grades are closed. The North Platte Elementary Behavior Program is closed. The North Platte High School Alternative Education Program is closed. Other standards. The school district shall not accept an option student when acceptance of the student A would increase the operating costs of the school district, such as by requiring the hiring of new staff or contracting with outside entities to provide services to the student. B would require the procurement of new equipment, technology, or furnishings. C would cause or require the rearrangement of caseloads for staff. and contractor professionals. D is reasonably deemed by appropriate school staff to pose a potential risk to the health or safety of students or staff. E may pose a risk of adversely affecting the quality of education services being provided to resident students as determined by appropriate school staff.
Nice job.
You know that?
Yeah. Second.
Actually, you read the resolution, so I need a motion and that's,
Oh,
so you're moving?
I move to accept the resolution. Yes.
I second.
Are there any questions or need for
Yeah, I think,
clarification?
Dr. Rhodes, can you expand a little bit on what Joanne, because I do think that's confusing for people to understand. They hear these grades are closed and then they think, well, wait a minute, what if we have more students coming in, those kind of things?
Yeah, so this came out of the legislative session from 2022. The first year that we had to request approval of a resolution like this was last school year. And so it is the current year and the upcoming year. And certainly as we receive applications, that's the reason it includes next year as well. So the important pieces of this resolution are your numeric capacities that are listed in 20 K through 2 students per classroom and 22 at the 3rd through 5th grade level. This is strictly for option. Anybody that is not a resident of the North Platte School District. If do we have classes greater than 20 kids in kindergarten, first and second? Yeah, we do have some of those. Those are our resident students. So it's strictly for kids and families wanting to option in to the school district. We keep a daily updated spreadsheet on our elementary classrooms across the district. So Cabinet looked at this document in terms of the closed programs or closed classrooms. We also presented it to the elementary principals to make sure we weren't missing anything as well. And so again, strictly option. If we have a family moves town and they're a resident and they live in the Lake Ward, then by all means, they're a Lake student.
So we actually have openings for the projected 800 kids that could possibly be coming to town with the sustainable beef. This is just, they can't move from, let's say, this area to another school wise.
Say that last question again.
So this is just, they can't option from, let's say, the north side of town to go to Lake.
Oh, you mean RTAs if they're in our school district now and they are
No, I'm just saying, like, we're talking about the
non-resident.
people moving in, and we have those spots.
Yeah,
for all
yes,
the
we do.
kids moving
Yep,
in, even though
yep.
these are closing. This
Yep.
is just for optioning from one
Correct.
school to another.
Yes. Yep. Correct.
But this would be like if someone from First Street wanted to opt. into
Yes.
the district,
Right.
Inner district.
Well,
That's a separate-
oh, that's not interdistrict?
No.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
And we've tried the last few years to limit and develop a timeline on RTAs in the district, just because we wanted to get neighborhood schools back to where they need to be. And based on people moving to our community, all of our elementaries other than Lake have the ability to take more students.
Right.
Okay, any further questions? All right, there's a motion and a second, so roll call.
Matthew Peterson.
Aye.
Emily Garrett.
Aye.
Joanna Lundy.
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Skip Walker.
Aye.
And Lily.
Aye.
And that passes. Okay, so future board calendar. We have Mugs in the Morning tomorrow with Mr. Altig and Mr. Simpson.
Yep.
And we have our committee of the whole meeting, which has been moved up a week to October 24th. And that was due to the holiday at the end of the month. So I also wanted to mention that you have likely received an email called Know Before training. And that is something that if you could get that completed, if you haven't already, I can't remember exactly now what that one was in regard to.
You should be getting emails on safety trainings, videos.
So even though it looks like maybe it's just for staff, it does include the board too, if you could complete those trainings. So, and if I need to.
Are
I
those
can-
coming out soon or are they?
There's one that came out, it was in the last month that it was sent out. So I'll have Brian check on that.
I
and-
never got one. The only one I got was way back in the summer was on Title IX.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's the only one I've received.
yeah, there is another one that came out recently. Okay. And then also, Dr. Rhodes completed his self-evaluation. And so the board will be getting the self-evaluation will be sent to the board this Wednesday, as well as the survey for us to take in reviewing his employment with us. So as you're filling out the evaluation, if you would please remember to make sure that you're keeping personal or personality items out of it. And then also as you're providing feedback to Dr. Rhodes, if you would please make sure that it's quality feedback so that he can make adjustments as needed, or if you see things that you really like that he's doing, please be specific in your responses. I think it would be appreciated, and I know that I feel like he deserves good full feedback from us so that he can make any adjustments that he can see that through the evaluation. So, all right. So I think that is it for now. So I will call for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Emily Garrett.
Hi.
Madeline Green.
Aye.
Lydia Clark.
Aye.
Skip Ball.
Aye.
And
Aye.